Yoo-hoo! What's going on, everyone? Welcome on in to Coffee with Brodes. It is Friday. It is the last day of the week before we head into the weekend. I don't know why I told you that. I feel like that's common knowledge and that's already something that you should know. But here we are. We had some action last night. We actually had a triple threat. The 76ers played some summer league as well. But I'll be honest with you, Tyrese Maxey and Isaiah Joe doing their thing with B-Ball Paul. It doesn't move the needle the same that Phillies Dodgers game 3 and a big salvage of the series does, or a Philadelphia Eagles preseason game where you have so many things you wonder about Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni. Not that we were told a bunch of answers, but it looked solid. It looked good. It looked crisp. It looked clean. And that's really what you were looking for out of your football team yesterday, taking the field for the first time in game action when you're talking about a new head coach in a new era of football. So, not bad. Not bad. Not going to tell you this means you're winning the Super Bowl, but not bad based off of what it could have been. It could have been embarrassing. It could have been messy. It could have been choppy. Instead, it was the complete opposite. And I was nodding my head like, okay, you got to clean some areas up. Can't drop the passes. Quez Watkins down the left side of the field. Jalen Hurts has to connect on that. That could be a bomb. That could be a 98-yard touchdown. I mean, that would have been a game-breaking play right from the jump. That's got to be connected on. That's got to be hit, right? For sure. You did also have the Field of Dreams game. That was epic. Tim Anderson with a walk-off, how do you do, against the Yankees. The balls leaving the park left and right. That was a fun-ass atmosphere. Leave it to baseball, though, to put that up against football. Whether it's preseason or not, the fact that that was like the big first event and the big first thing for it, and it's going up against football, just leave it to baseball for that. Anyway, cheers, coffee, let's drink it. That's what we do. Is it bad that I'm going to drink this cup of coffee and all I'm thinking about is my Starbucks iced coffee I'm getting after this? That's all I'm thinking about. I wanted to wake up early, go get it before, but as soon as I woke up to do that, I started watching TikToks. I laid in bed for an hour. There was no way in hell I was getting up. Just no way in hell I was getting up. What's up, Philly Mike? What's going on, man? What's happening? Brodes is drinking the juice. LOL, just kidding. Yeah, I'm not drinking the juice, but look, this is what it was. Will the team look like they know what they're doing? Will the team look like they're on the right page and they're on the right track? They did. Their starters did, at least. And quite frankly, I don't care about their third stringers that are going to get annihilated and plucked off the street later on, halfway through the season, throughout the entire National Football League. So that's really irrelevant to me. How did the team look structure-wise? And basically, I saw a team out there, and that's step one of making sure that this makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, before we can start talking about, well, can they win games and who can they beat and what will they look like, they need to at least be on the same page, the same plane, if you will. And, well, I think we had the answer, at least in game one here, that seemed to be the case. Finn says that Quinn Watkins is putting himself in the running for wide receiver 3. No, he's putting himself in the wide receiver 2, my friend. Don't talk about 3. I think it's really, 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 really possible for an individual named Quez Watkins to be 2. So you'll have Devontae Smith, you'll have Quez Watkins, and Jalen Reagor being your slot. That might be your best bet. That might be what's smoothest for this team. Now, how funny is this? How ironic. They end up running out of the gates here, right? They run out of the tunnel. They play their first play. Excuse me. They're in 12 personnel. 12 personnel. After all that last year. Well, do they really want to be in 12 personnel? Do they not? Would they rather have 3 wide receivers on the field or not? You run out there, you got Ertz and Goddard. It's just hilarious. It's just pretty damn funny. Yeah, to be honest with you, Jake, Nick Mullins is the last thing on my mind when I think about this football team. I get it. He was awful. His first throw was an interception. Did Tyree Jackson run the right route, or was it the sharpest route in the world? No. He threw another interception later. The last thing on my mind is, where is Nick Mullins going to fall with this depth chart, and if he's going to be a part of this team or not. Joe Flacco gave you the Joe Flacco that you thought he would. which was a veteran journeyman quarterback that does the little things that he's just been around the block long enough. That's Joe Flacco at this stage of his career. He gave you that effort, and it really comes down to Jalen Hurts. So, with all due respect to the Nick Mullins crowd, I just really got nothing for you because that's so damn irrelevant to me if Nick Mullins is going to be a part of this thing or not. Yes, Nolan, we do have Zach Wheeler on the mound today. Let's not overlook the fact that the Cincinnati Reds are coming to town and the Phillies have to make a statement after losing losing 2 of 3 and only winning 1 of 3 against the Dodgers, which makes a lot of sense. They have a lot of power. They are an unbelievable team. But now let's go to the Cincinnati Reds, who had a big explosive game against the Braves yesterday. So, they kind of had a similar situation. They had a heartbreaker too. They had a heartbreaker. So they won 12-3 yesterday, but it was that Ozzie Albies walk-off 2 days ago that definitely smacked them in the face. They lost 8-6 in game 2 of the series, and they lost 3-2 in game 1 of this series. So the Reds are in basically the same spot as we were with the Dodgers. They fell their first 2 against the Braves. Then they salvaged the series. They're going to try and grab momentum. They're going to see if they can pursue here with a couple wins in a row and string some things together. I feel this is a troll. We're going to find out if this is a troll or not. Sean comes into this chat and makes a comment claiming that he loves Ben Simmons. I would like you to expand on Ben Simmons. I would like to know why you love Ben Simmons still. What intrigues you? Are you saying that you wouldn't trade him? Or is this just your classic troll job? And that's fine if it is. Just be open with me. Do you really love Ben? Or is this more a product of you trying to push the buttons? William. So how about Ian Kennedy getting 5 outs in the 9th because of the brutal umpire? Yeah. Alfonso was not very crisp last night behind the plate, or yesterday afternoon. Maybe it was the 108-degree weather index that it felt a heat index out there where he was mush as well as I was mush and losing my brain power just like he was, or, he was maybe losing his brain power just like I was losing my brain power out there dripping sweat. And my maroon shirt was basically dark purple by the end of the first inning because I was sweating so damn much. Marquez had an issue there, though. I was more upset with the Corey Seager. Why do I always say Kyle Seager? With the Corey Seager walk on the bottom half of the inside part of the plate than I was against the Cody Bellinger one. Getting all the names mixed up. The Cody Bellinger at the top of the strike zone. I thought that the Seager one pissed me off a bit more, quite frankly. All right, so Sean is adding more to this. Sean is adding more to the I love Ben Simmons comment. Move Ben to power forward. Cannot happen. He can't shoot a basketball. And start Tyrese Maxey. If it comes to it, play Ben and Joel in separate rotations. It can't happen. Sean, none of this is actually logical. If you say make sure Joel and Ben aren't on the court at the same time, Joel Embiid's going to play 40 minutes of NBA playoff basketball. So you're telling me that Ben Simmons is going to log 8 minutes in a playoff game, getting paid $30 million plus a year? That doesn't make any sense. That's literally impossible. Playing the power forward position, he can't shoot a basketball, so he can't play the stretch four. What do you do with Tobias Harris if that's the case? Where's he going? Is he playing the 3? I don't like him at the 3 as much. And then who's going to the bench? Is it Seth Curry or is it Danny Green? I mean, it's just not reality what you're saying. So trying to keep him at all costs is not beneficial. And by the way, it's not going to happen because it's clear that he wants out. If you go back to the Carson Wentz drama where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, technically Carson Wentz didn't say that he wanted out, but it was clear that the relationship was fractured. The relationship here right now between the Philadelphia 76ers and Ben Simmons is fractured. So there's no going back to that. Like X and O and strategy-wise, what you want to do is just not making sense. What do you mean run Ben at center? You have Joel Embiid. At this point, I think we understand where we're at here. You're just being a troll. And I got it. Like I said, if that's what you're trying to do, fine. That's fine. Just admit that's what you're trying to do. Let's see here. With the healthy Zach Eflin, this rotation is actually a strength for the Phils. you're going too far. You're going too far. It's not a strength. It's not a strength. You literally have one guy that you know what you're going to get. Even Gibson, right? Do you know? No. The answer is no. You don't truly know what you're going to get out of Gibson. You're hoping for that 6 innings, that 5 innings, and a lot of ground balls. And he might be the one that you could probably guess the most what you're going to get out of the rest of the rotation. But besides Zach Wheeler, no, you have no idea what you're getting out of Nola. With Ranger Suarez, I mean, it's not like we can go overboard here. Gibson, same thing. And a healthy Zach Eflin. You still don't know what the healthy Zach Eflin, what the outing is going to be like. So to be honest with you, I really disagree with that statement in general. There's no way in hell that anything is happening this year where your starting rotation becomes a strength for you. What's going to win you baseball games is your offense. And maybe your bullpen holding its own from the 6th inning on. Hector Alvarado, who's hurt, Archie Bradley, Ian Kennedy. Those 4 guys having their roles and knowing what they're going to do and basically finding a groove and rhythm. 6, 7, 8, 9. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go win a baseball game. Maybe. And I'm not putting a lot of money onto that. I'm not telling you I feel great about that. I'm just saying, more than the starting pitching, if the angle is starting pitching, the answer is no. I don't feel confident in that area. It would be the offense that carries this team more than anything else. So Sean comes back and says, you're not going to get enough return with his trade value at his lowest. But he's not good, right? So that's another part of this that people keep forgetting about when you think about trading Ben Simmons. So we thought Ben Simmons was better than he was. We're finding out he's not as good as what you thought. Therefore, it's not you're not getting enough for him. It's you're getting what actual value is for him. This is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a player that can win you regular season games, have triple doubles when it doesn't matter, and then shrivel and be horrendous because he doesn't want to be any part of a big moment in the 4th quarter down the stretch because he can't shoot, so he hides underneath the basket. So who do you get for him? What type of player do you get in return for what I just told you? A non-playoff basketball player. Well, you start talking about the Colin Sextons of the world. You start talking about the Buddy Hields and Halliburtons of the world. You start talking about the Malcolm Brogdons of the world. It's not as if it's wrong. It's we didn't think he was that. We overvalued him earlier because we expected growth. Once you start recognizing that growth is not happening, it's not that his stock isn't it's not fair. It's fair. Yeah, it's lower than what it once was, but that's because he's proving he's not as talented as we thought he was going to be. We thought that there would be a step. There was no step. Therefore, what part of when you talk about trading a younger player at 20, it's about the potential. It's about the what he can be. Well, when you're 5 years later and you're 25 and those expectations were not met, well, then, yeah, that potential drops because it's clearly not trending in the right direction. Crazy, but reality. Brodes, I tried to tell you that the Braves were going to take the division. You dismissed the comment as a hot take and claimed the Braves were a mess. Okay. I got another for you. I mean, okay. What my take has been on the Braves has been basically, I think that next year they'll turn around and just be the Braves that we expected them to be. Yeah, the Braves are winning some baseball games right now, but it's not as if by the way, there's no way that I claim that it's impossible because the Mets were in the first place of the division. And what I said was this division is a total dumpster fire. It's going to be a mix of all these teams in play until the rest of the season. No one was going to run away with it. Did I sense that the Braves were going to win the division? No, I thought it was going to be the Mets who just kind of cruised in that spot, not because they were great, but just because no one was pouncing on those opportunities and really thriving. And to be fair, yeah, the Braves are winning baseball games, but they're still not even close to their top potential when we talked about them in the beginning of this season. I think they'll turn it around once next season begins and they just kind of hit that refresh button and they'll be fine as they move forward with their roster and who they've been over the last handful of years. But yeah, I mean, okay. Congratulations on loving the Braves and thinking that they could get it done. As if anything that happens this playoffs run and this backstretch out of the NL East was something that you could have imagined happening 5 months ago. Come on now. Jake Arrieta was, yeah, the Cubs outing was just a mess. The Cubs was a joke yesterday. Jake Arrieta was brutal. Brutal. What was his finishing stat line? And there's no way I said the Braves winning the division is a hot take. I mean, that doesn't make sense. That's like what was supposed to happen at the beginning of the year. Um, Especially in this division. Let's see this Jake Arrieta thing. I want to see his stats. Why is that? Why is that so difficult to figure out here? All right. Oh, was that yesterday's game? What was the game that he played when he got? Oh, was it the 10-0 loss? Yeah. 4 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. But they got obliterated yesterday as well, 17-4 to the Milwaukee Brewers. So it's pretty damn crazy. It's pretty damn crazy. Danny, what's up, man? What's happening? It's the first time tuning in this week. I thought UFC was meh, aside from the chokeout. You talk about UFC 265. Yeah, but we knew going into UFC 265 that it wasn't going to be the best card in the world. With Gon out there against Lewis, that was and Aldo. You know, there's nothing like a Aldo out there either. Where was I going with that? Yeah, oh, the card in general. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the expectations were very high, but you're right. That chokeout was insane. The fact that he escaped twice, how he escaped twice, I thought he was going to tap out and there was going to be a submission on his part. He maneuvers himself out of there, and before you know it, you see a tap on the thigh. That was actually absurd. I forgot about. You know what? It's been so there's been so much going on that I almost just like forgot about 265. It was there and it was gone. It was quick and then it was out. And it wasn't one of those, McGregor Poiriers or one of those Oliveras where he wins a belt. It wasn't one of those. So it didn't, I don't know, maybe it just didn't resonate in my brain as much as I wanted it to. But yeah, you're right. That was a fantastic chokeout. And I almost forgot about it. And there's no way that I should be forgetting about it because that was sick as hell. RJ says, have a cup of Joe for Isaiah Joe. And yes, I am. In terms of Summer League action, it is what it is, right? Normally, I'm a little bit more invested in it than this year, but I think it goes back to once you become a team that has NBA championship type of thoughts, and when you talk about your team as a top of the Eastern Conference squad and a team that, is at the top, those little things don't matter as much. The draft, we'll see who they pick. And lately, they've had fantastic picks dating back from Landry Shamet, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey. We'll see what Springer's all about, if he's even here or if he's a part of a trade package eventually. So they have had some nice pieces there. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm telling you that, that juice compared to where we were back in the day for it, it's just not there. Watching Maxey play against guys who aren't in the NBA, yeah, he's going to dominate. That's what it's all about. And it doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. And it doesn't mean I don't see his growth. And it doesn't mean I don't see his skill set adapting. But when you have the black cloud of Ben Simmons really, I guess, covering the entire 76ers organization, and there's so many thoughts and NBA Finals aspirations, watching Springer in the summer, it just doesn't hit the same way as it did a few years ago. No, no, Jose, I don't. Maxey earning more minutes because he's playing well in the NBA Summer League. No, he's going to get more minutes because he's playing better in camp and because he's adding to his game. He's going to get more minutes in general because you're going to move Ben Simmons. And as long as he's not a part of that deal, he's going to be here running the offense. So it's irrelevant to what he's doing right now. It's just because he's a better overall player. It's not because of just this. It's because he's a better overall player than where he was last year, and he's going to keep growing. So, yeah, I mean, Williams states it here as well. Maxey doesn't even belong in the summer league. He just has a good mentality about it. I want to play. He says rookies don't deserve days off. Their days off is playing basketball and growing, and he's absolutely right. He's got some good swag to him. He's got a good attitude about everything, so I'm excited for who Tyrese Maxey is. But, yeah, I mean, The Summer League, it's just there for me this season. And that's what happens. I talk about this all the time throughout the regular season. Game 33, when the 76ers lost to the Atlanta Hawks. Remember game 33, 34, 35 of the regular season where you got pissed off because they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road? Absolutely not. Once you start being a team that you look at as an NBA title window type of squad, it doesn't matter about the regular season anymore. It doesn't matter about the summer league anymore. The draft doesn't have the same impact. All those little things, excitement-wise, as a pure fan, it starts heading in the other direction because the only thing that matters is your championship or bust attitude. The regular season, you think the Lakers and LeBron James are worried about the regular season? No. No, the Bucks actually took a step back from caring about the regular season, and it's the year they end up winning the championship. Anthony wants to know, hot take. This isn't a hot take at all. This is facts, Anthony. If Quez Watkins continues to play well, he should be wide receiver 2 ever. He's going to be. I really don't even think it's a question anymore, or if it's a hot take, or if it's like going too far. I think it's almost basically inevitable if this continues to happen. It'll be Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins. If you're in 12 personnel, you have 2 tight ends out there with those 2 wide receivers. You're going to have Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins. I think their speed and their ability to make some explosiveness occur out there is absolutely going to be it. And then you can throw Jalen Reagor into the slot. I don't really think it's a hot take. I think it's more of a reality of what you're actually going to witness with Nick Sirianni. Riot doesn't know if Watkins is actually a guy to watch. Got to see him towards someone who got drafted before. No, it's someone to watch. I mean, come on now. It's someone to watch. Do you see the speed? Do you see the skill set? Do you see what he brings to the table? Yeah, I think you need to watch him. He's a guy to watch. He just scored a 79-yard touchdown. And he could have had another one instantly. If Jalen Hurts hit him with that pass, he's taking that to the house. Yeah, I get it. It's preseason. Some of these guys are not going to be playing in the NFL. But that doesn't mean you take away what he does is what he does. That's what he does. He flies. He has a burner. That's what he does. That's what he brings to the table. It's fantastic. It's a guy to watch, right? Absolutely. Hurts played bad. Dom, what did you watch? What did you watch? I feel this is Troll City. This is Friday Troll Job. What did you watch to tell you that Hurts played bad? Yeah, you're right. Quez, I'm just saying in general, yeah. But when Flacco was out there, I don't remember if there were starters still for the Steelers or not. Because when Flacco came in, you were obviously rocking with some of your second team guys. So I don't know if it was for the second one, but for the first where he was flying out there originally, then yeah, I mean that was when they were still with their first teamers, just in general. Well, then I don't think you were fully engaged in what was happening out there. If your takeaway was Quez Watkins escaped a practice squad linebacker that wasn't covering him, if that's the only thing you saw from Quez Watkins, I feel you got to go back to the tape. I think you got to go back to the tape. Hurts played good the first drive, but second drive wasn't good. Wasn't all his fault, the drops and all, but he wasn't perfect. Yeah, he wasn't perfect, but to come in here with 7 capitals claiming that he was bad, it's like, well, no, that's not true. We have to go look at Deshaun Watson because of 2 preseason drives. If anything, the takeaway should not be, I thought Jalen Hurts was bad. It should be, he's got some things to clean up, but ultimately, he looked smooth and in control. He looked in control of the offense, and it was obvious that they stressed, let's pass the football. They didn't run the football with him. It was pass, 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 pass. Let's work on the footwork. Let's work on getting the ball where we want the ball to go in this play instead of taking off and running and trying to gain some yards, which he did once for a gain of about 4 yards, I believe. And it ended up being short of the first down. If I remember correctly, that was on 3rd down, and then they punted afterwards. But they want him to focus on, hey, this is where the play's supposed to go. You got to hit your wide receivers in stride. He also had a big check, which changed the play. And what do you know? Dallas Goedert ends up going on a nice how do you do for a 34-yard gain. That touch was fantastic. That was an outstanding throw to Dallas Goedert, who created some good space, and the ball was thrown in only an area where Dallas Goedert can go and grab it. And then he ran for some yards as well. So that's definitely a solid effort for sure. Watkins himself said he was held on the play. It wasn't a perfect pass, but didn't overthrow anything. No, he did. He overthrew it. I saw the play, and yes, he was held up, but not enough for that to truly be the difference of where that throw was. It's okay to say that Jalen Hurts overthrew Quez Watkins a bit. It's what happened, right? I don't know why we always have to search and find ways to kind of manipulate what happened. No, he overthrew it. It's fine. It's preseason game one. You're not going to be a full throttle mode. You're not going to be perfect mode. Was there a bit of a holdup? Sure. Was it still overthrown? Yes. Both can be true. Bit overthrown, bit of a holdup. Reality of the situation. How can someone look at seven pass attempts and call someone bad? Yeah, that's a great point, Thomas. A couple of them were dropped for sure too, Rager and Zach Ertz. But yeah, ultimately, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, this guy just doesn't know football, Anthony, is what's going on here. If your neighbor is saying that they should start Flacco because Hurts is too much of an unknown, is the dumbest thing ever. Aren't you supposed to learn about who Jalen Hurts is supposed to be? How do you know about unknowns? At one point, Joe Flacco was an unknown. At one point, Tom Brady was an unknown. At one point, Carson Wentz was an unknown. At one point, Josh Allen was an unknown. At one point, Pat Mahomes was an unknown. At one point, Antonio Brown was an unknown. At one point, Devontae Smith, well, he's still an unknown, but I guess heading into Alabama, you could say that he was an unknown, and then he kind of created an identity at Alabama. Right now in the NFL, he's an unknown. How are you supposed to know about these players unless they play? Right? That's just the dumbest thing ever. There's nothing. I mean, there's really nothing. This is on the Eagles. This is what they do. They're obsessed with quarterback play. I mean, he's got to go out there and play well. That would be what gives him the best advantage, but it doesn't mean still they're not going to do it. They might look at Jalen Hurts playing well as an opportunity to land Deshaun Watson easier. Like, hey, we'll give you Jalen Hurts. He's playing well. They might almost want that to happen so they could trade him and make it even easier of a trade. So there's nothing, Jake. This is how the Eagles organization operates. This is what they're obsessed with. They love the quarterback position. They always have their eyes on it. Exhibit A, why Jalen Hurts is even here to begin with. So there's nothing you can do to change their minds. Which is a worse division, the NL East or the NFC East? Probably the NFC East from last year. If we're basing it off of last year, yeah, the NFC East was probably the division winner was 7-9. That's basically saying in baseball, and it's a little different because you're not going to win the division under 500 in baseball. But at the end of the day, it'll still be a record that's way better than the equivalent of 7-9 is in the NFL. So I would have to say that the NFC East is worse than the NL East. Did I like what I saw out of Steven Nelson yesterday? I was so mad when the Steelers let him go. It's so hard with what Jonathan Gannon's showing, which is absolutely nothing. Nothing. Jonathan Gannon showed nothing. It was basically just, hey, go get him. You barely saw a lot from the starters with the defensive crew. You barely saw the starters in general. Let's be realistic. So, I can't sit here and tell you that Steven Nelson was just absolutely electric and dominant and fantastic and lethal and elite and game changing and special. These defenders, too, these guys on the defensive side of the ball, you did not get a bunch of action. So, not too much I can really tell you about yesterday and what I think Steven Nelson is going to be because of yesterday and what I saw. Same thing goes with the offensive line. I mean, Opeta played at left guard instead of Isaac Sayamalu. Just seeing Brandon Brooks available and pushing a bit is solid. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, they did well. Their offensive line, when you're talking about their first team, they did fine. The pocket was there, allowed Jalen Hurts to run through some progressions there. It's, you know, just seeing Brandon Brooks on the field again is very crucial and something that is good for his confidence and just getting back in game action after the injuries that he has basically been through over the last handful of years, even though I know he returned from the original crucial injury and already saw some time. When it happens again and you go through something similar to that again, well, you need that feel to be in the trenches. So, that's big. But in terms of, breaking down X and O in every single play when the starters were out there for the offensive line, it really comes down to just from a broad approach. Yeah, they went out there and got some reps and they were fine. Mailata's the future. It does seem that way. It does seem like you found yourself your left tackle, and that's extremely important. I was talking about this on the radio over the weekend. If you end up landing your seventh round draft pick and he becomes your franchise left tackle for 10 years, but you miss on Andre Dillard, how are you supposed to view that as a fan of your draft working or failing? Does that mean it worked? Was it beneficial or did you fail? Your seventh round draft pick becomes your franchise left tackle for 10 seasons, and you miss out on your first round draft pick. And by the way, I did a little bit of research according to one of the polls that I saw. What not? It's not really poll, but the problem is it's hard to qualify if a first rounder is a bust or not. If I asked you, was Nelson Aguilar a bust? You would say yes, but he's playing a lot of years in the National Football League, which would tell you no. So what qualifies somebody a bust in the first round? Anyway, statistics show that around the at least the one I saw a bunch of different hit rate, miss rate for the first round, but it was about 53% was the hit rate of first rounders. Once again, what does that mean? If you play 1 year in the NFL, is that a hit? If you play 2 years in the NFL, is that a hit? If you play 3 or what makes it a hit? How many games? How many snaps? All this. There's so much that changes the value of what a first round pick is, hit or miss wise. But if you use that logic, apply that to 53% hits, well, missing out means 47% on the first round. So where does that put, the thought process on did that succeed or fail if that's what you end up getting? Arm Zebra says, I'm not too sure. I think you should feel good because they found the gem there and there are busts in the first round. Yeah, I agree. I mean, ultimately, yes, it matters where someone gets selected, how they get brought into a team, this and that, financially, how much they're getting paid. I'm not devaluing that parts of the argument when you talk about players in the National Football League because it absolutely matters. Someone who's getting paid barely any money and producing maybe like Antonio Brown's prime, that's a lot different compared to a wide receiver that's getting paid, let's say, middle of the road average salary, but he's performing like JJ Arthega Whiteside, right? So that definitely matters. But ultimately, if you find yourself your left tackle, you find yourself for your left tackle. When you look at the broad approach, you have your left tackle in the future. I'm just saying if that ends up being the case. So, yeah, but PFF is the worst. I cannot stand PFF. Their grading system is the most bizarre system I've ever seen in my entire life. So, I mean, me personally, everyone has their own personal preference. You can like PFF if you like. I personally think it's a riot. I personally think it's out there. Some of the the rankings that they throw out there are absurd. So yeah, I don't give it a time of day. I don't. Their number crunching is just the most insane. But yeah, I only watched some of the highlights, and Hurts was good getting out of the pocket when pressure was coming. Where he did roll to the right, he threw the ball out of bounds when needed to. That's something we did not see out of Carson Wentz. Went through his progression. If nobody was open, he threw it out. Yep, that's a good point, Matthew. He did do that where he would just throw it out of bounds and live another day. He kind of has that mentality of he's always looking to do something, right? Which is strong. You need that out of your quarterback. But Carson Wentz would wait too long. He would wait that extra second. And I thought Jalen Hurts actually took a decent shot where he did hold on to the ball a little too late trying to do that. Maybe you clean up that internal clock 1 second before you let it rip into the out of bounds section so you don't take that extra hit. The less you get bodied by a 280-pound man is probably the better, Jalen Hurts. Not speaking from experience. I've never taken a collision that hard in my entire life, but I would imagine if I did, it would not feel great. So Jalen Hurts had that mental clock doing pretty well, though, to throw the ball out of bounds for sure. Did I see Daniel Jones throw? No, I did not. Should I be searching it on Twitter? I mean, to be fair, there was a Jalen Hurts throw the other day that was on NFL Network that was just absolutely horrendous. So where is this Daniel Jones? The first thing that comes up is Daniel Jones interception. Was it an interception or was it what? Oh, okay. Daniel Jones in midseason form. Let's see this in the pocket. Oh wow, that's bad. That was a bad throw. That was not a good throw. Right over the middle. basically right into the hands of a defender. Now, did the defender miss the ball? I think that's even more embarrassing, no? The fact that that wasn't intercepted, the fact that that was dropped, I think that might even be worse than the throw, which is saying a lot because the throw was awful. Hurts is going to be benched by week 5. What makes you feel that way? 223CZ. We got ourselves some character today in the chat. And I'm not telling you that I feel insanely phenomenal about Jalen Hurts. I'm not. I'm in that category of he's going to have some really good moments. He's going to have some really bad moments. And then at the end of it, you're kind of going to have to weigh out the pros and the cons. I mean, you can't be serious with this take, though, that you'd rather have Daniel Jones over Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's absolutely absurd and one of the most pathetic things ever. I mean, Daniel Jones has been in the league for how many years now? And it's pretty, eh, eh. If I'm the Giants, I'm already questioning when do we go after a quarterback next, with all due respect here. Yeah, I mean, I understand that there's a lot of trolling going on. Once you say I'll rather have Daniel Jones than Jalen Hurts, whether Jalen Hurts becomes a stud or not, the intangibles and the approach to the game and everything about what he can be, the ceiling. If we just think about the ceiling of the potential, it's higher, and I'm willing to take that risk. I wonder if you ask Giants fans out there, though, if you'd rather have Jalen Hurts or Daniel Jones, what they would say, because I'm sure some would stick to their guns and stick true to Daniel Jones because he's been there and they believe that maybe there's something in there that just hasn't been untapped yet. So they'd be unwilling to admit that maybe Jalen Hurts would have the better possibility. But I'm just curious in general how that would go. Swifty believes that Hurts is the guy. We should just focus on that instead of Watson. Well, you can. You can't just like pretend. Well, we think he's the guy, so we won't look in any other direction. No, you have to. It would be foolish to not keep your eyes open in other areas. And I'm not telling you I want Deshaun Watson because of everything that's happening right now. I don't want Deshaun Watson because of everything that's happening right now. But in general, to say, let's just stick with Hurts and not have our eyes on any other direction, that's foolish. That would be a bad general manager. That would be a bad organization. And that would be a bad way to approach things. Absolutely not. You should always have your options open. You should always make sure your fingers are on the pulse in other spots because that's how this league works. It's the biggest statement I've ever heard in this league. And it's not basically just when contracts are signed, but as soon as contracts are signed and you end up becoming a player on a franchise, they're already looking to replace you for a cheaper version of you. That's just reality of the situation. Now, quarterback's different because you're willing to pay $30+ million a year on these guys because they're so damn important. So it's not specifically just younger talent for cheaper talent, but it is true that in this league, as soon as you go somewhere, they're already looking for your replacement. And with Jalen Hurts, who is an unknown and you don't know yet until he proves to you that he is special and he is the guy, absolutely make sure you are aware of what is around you and your surroundings. You see what happened with the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm not telling you it went about the right way discussion-wise, but look what they did with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. They had Brett Favre, but hey, Aaron Rodgers, we are going to make sure our future is secured here by looking in that path. Well, with Aaron Rodgers, they did it again with Love. And I'm not telling you that they went about it the right way. The logic, though, based off of Aaron Rodgers' age and all, is not a flawed logic. And they have the background support to say, we've done this before, Aaron, and it worked out significantly for our organization. So we have to have our organization in mind. With that said, you got to properly have the dialogue with Rodgers. The way they went about things, though, was clearly miserable. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is back in Green Bay, though, and they got another year and another opportunity. I would rather have Ryan Fitzpatrick over Daniel Jones. The Giants literally played better with Colt McCoy than Jones last year. Yeah, he's such a wild card, that guy. He's such a wild card. No, I did not watch any of the Washington game, although I did see, someone tweeted at me and asked if I saw some play in the game, but I didn't. Was there a wild game or a wild play? Patriots? Is there something that I should watch? Because somebody said, like, oh, did you see that crazy play? And I thought it had something to do with the referees, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way off. Um, let's see. Adam, I'm a Giants fan, and Danny Dimes ain't it. Okay. Adam, you're one of the only Giants fans I've heard say that. Only a few have. Adam comes back and says, yeah, because I see trash Eli Manning was tenfold better, and Eli was trash. Well, I mean, okay. I know you're saying that he was trash at the end of his career, but still, I don't even know where that conversation's going. But linebackers look pretty good. Bradley in particular. Yeah, once again, and some of these guys, I saw Singleton all around, running around and, making some plays here and there and whatnot. I guess one thing to note as well, it's not as if they've been running practices into the ground and tackling a lot and being extremely physical with the practice side of things. And Nick Sirianni's approach has basically been that, right? Well, I would say when the real players were out there, you didn't see missed tackles. I mean, like okay, like I'm talking more from a broader approach, right? Sort of like when you say they look structured, they look like they were in form, they knew what they were doing, but there were drop passes. Yeah, you're right. There were drop passes, but ultimately, from a broad approach, the offense with the number one team looked like they were on the same page and they knew what they were doing. There might have been a hiccup here and a hiccup there eventually with some of these players, but basically, when you're talking about wrapping guys up and early on, first couple of drives, there was something to be said about making tackles and being sound and doing the little things right, right? Like it wasn't as if there were 9 tackles missed and people were breaking through the arm tackles. No, no, no. So for not doing a lot in practice, I think it should be noted that, there was something to that. Something to that. Scott, how about those young Sixers having the cojones to come back on the Hawks? None of them were scared. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing for you for that, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't have a lot for you with the overtime game. I got it. It was fun. I watched it. Tyrese Maxey. It was interesting and all that. But I'm not going too much with that side of things. I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a NBA player and Tyrese Maxey shred up guys who are not NBA players. Is it fun? Is it cool to see 30 plus points? Absolutely, for sure. It is. And he's making some nice buckets and he's exploding to the rim and he's showing that there's a little bit more versatility in his repertoire right now. Is that a product of getting away with things because the talent on the other side is weaker? Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe these are just skills that are in his bag that he doesn't feel confident utilizing against better defenders, better athletes, longer defenders, more skilled players. So it's there. It's just how can you get away with doing it against the better talent in the NBA? I mean, yeah, that's basically what's going on here. So it's nice to know that it's in the repertoire. It's how do we constantly get to pull that stuff out of you? And I think just playing more, getting more experience, playing more time in the NBA, that is, will naturally get him more confident to pull off some of these. Connor's happy to see that JT avoided the concussion protocols. Very true. He looked pretty messed up when he got domed twice. Yeah, he did. No doubt about it. And we still had to watch Andrew Knapp in that game when he came in to replace JT Realmuto bunt with 2 strikes on him and get hit in the finger. I mean, it's just the dumbest baseball I've ever seen in my life. But I'm very excited to see how they hang with the Cincinnati Reds, who are in the same exact boat as they are. Both teams salvaged the series in game 3 of their most recent 3-game set. Zach Wheeler, though, on the mound. My favorite. Nothing better. Unbelievable. And I'm looking forward to it. Friday night. I got things I got to do tomorrow, so it's not going to be a crazy Friday night, more of a relaxing Friday night. Love myself a relaxing Friday night. I'm 26 years old. I'm not 21 anymore. So when it's Friday night, you're looking on what you got to do tomorrow morning and things that got to get done. So let's kick back, let's relax, let's enjoy the night. I'm going to throw on some Phillies baseball. I'm going to have my feet up, be on the recliner. The dog will be next to me. It'll be a good day at the office for sure. So I'm actually really looking forward to that moment. I really am. Joey Votto bangs. I would agree with that assessment. That is a strong baseball opinion. He definitely does bang. How many ding dongs does he have on the year at this point? I mean, there was that stretch where he hit. Did it end at 7, or did it even go more than 7? But at one point, he hit a dinger in 7 straight games. Right now, he's got 25 bombs. 25 bombs so far this season. Pretty crazy, man. Hitting 285. He's got 72 RBI, He's got a 957 OPS. Damn, he's got a career 938 OPS. That's absurd. In 15 years, you have a career 938 OPS. Back in 2010, he had a 1 dot for the whole season. Back in 2017, he had a 1 dot the entire season. He had 134 walks with 100 RBI and 36 dingers when he was 33 years old back in 2017. He had a back-to-back All-Star year run there when he went back in 2018 to the All-Star game with an OBP of 417 with 108 walks. Only 12 dingers that year, though. So a significant drop-off there. But damn, man, he's just been insane. What's up, First Down, Frank? What's going on, man? He's watching on Twitch. We're also on twitch.tv. So do not forget about that as well. First Down, Frank. Haven't seen you in here in a bit of time. I can't imagine having Andrew Knapp with 2 bases loaded opportunities. Oh, wait. The problem was, well, one of those, they intentionally walked Jankowski on purpose. You're so bad that they're like, hey, you know what? Screw Jankowski. I'll go to Andrew Knapp instead. Oh, man, that's funny. Just funny in general, thinking about that, as if who's Jankowski, right? The first swing, though, where Andrew Knapp ended up flying out to center field, it was a good rope. I mean, as much as we can hate on Andrew Knapp and make fun of him, and I'm here for it, right? Sign me up. If there's let's just rip Andrew Knapp sort of agreement I got to sign, I'm probably the first one on the list here. I'm signing first. So with that said, though, that first swing, or that, not the first swing, but the first bases loaded opportunity, he roped one out to center field. It was a good cut. There was nothing wrong with the cut. It was a strong-looking swing. It just unfortunately went to center field. The problem was the second one, where you ground out the second base, and it was ugly. Now that was bad. He did on the first one. On the second one, he just rolled it over to second base. Pretty damn disappointing, in my opinion. Pretty damn disappointing. It's time for Marshawn to be over Knapp. Yeah, the same thing. You're going to get the same thing at that point, though. What? You look at look at Andrew Knapp as a pitcher that can call a good game. You look at Marshawn as a good defensive catcher. Yeah. You're going to get the same production. You're right. I guess it's to the point where it's so bad and it's so disturbing and it's so awful offensively that it's time to try something new. Whether it's better or not, you can't continue to trot the same thing out there over and over again. Is there something to that? I don't know. Marshawn's hitting 304 in his 23 at-bats with the Phillies this year. I want to look at his minor league stats, though. I don't care about his small sample size in the majors. He's hitting 198 this year. You get the same exact thing. You'll get the same exact thing. The locker room would be in shambles without Knapp, says the Andrew Knapp's fan account. Just amazing that this is a thing. Just amazing this is a thing. The Mets have a gauntlet. Yep. It's basically Dodgers, Giants. Dodgers, Giants. Good luck. It's going to be brutal. It's going to make or break where the Mets go moving forward. Moniak should start. I don't like Mickey Moniak. I just think he's a bum. But he did have that rope to left field, and it was at the wall. As soon as it jumped off the bat, I thought, wow, that thing has a chance. Wow, there might be something to that. But it died right at the warning track. I'm just not a big Mickey Moniak guy, whether that's fair or unfair. I got you. He's overdrafted. You think by now at 23 years old, you would see your first round draft pick that was drafted when? Back in 2016, we're talking 5 years ago. He's 23. I watch 18-year-olds literally destroy Major League Baseball. 19, 20-year-olds at this point just come in and step in and thrive. We're waiting 5 years. All these kids, right? Alec Boehm struggling insanely. He's 25. Mickey Moniak can't get a chance to get out on the field. He's 23. Yet I'm watching all these other teams around the league pick apart these players that are 20, and they're good. They're good. They can play. They might make mistakes and they have flaws, but they can actually play the game of baseball. Right now, I don't know what the hell you have. But yeah, Mickey Moniak has had some nice minor league statistics. I don't know what to tell you about that. He's got an 800 OPS and he's hitting 257 in this season for AAA. But if you look more into the split side of things, it's been better over the last bit of time. We'll go through the months because I think he's been a little bit sharper here in August and a little bit more in July. Did I dip too far down? Maybe I did. Oh, this is only giving me the majors. I'm looking more for the minor league stats. I want to see if I can find the splits for the last few games. Well, I want minor league stats. I don't know why they make this so difficult. Splits with the minors. Okay. I mean, I can't find it, but regardless, irrelevant. Mickey Moniak is what it is. Did I see the highlights, Lance? I watched the game. I watched the game. It was awesome. It was a great experience. It was fun. It was different. It was creative. I saw these tweets flying around town yesterday, and I really hope that they think of something along the lines of maybe they go down the road of The Sandlot, because to me, The Sandlot's the best movie ever. I can always throw The Sandlot on. That's the one where it doesn't matter what part of the movie it's in. If I ever see it on TV, and sometimes they throw it on MLB Network, right? Like I'm always constantly watching The Sandlot. If I'm thinking of background noise, bang, I'm throwing on The Sandlot. The Sandlot, The Sandlot, The Sandlot. If they could throw The Sandlot into this here, maybe have a dog on the other side of the fence just barking, going nonstop. That would just be ridiculously unbelievable. Maybe they do that. Maybe they do, because The Sandlot is so damn iconic. That would be unreal. I always find it weird, though, because these players are so used to playing in front of 40,000 fans, right? 45,000 fans. And you throw them into these bizarre atmospheres where it's almost collegey and it's so much different. Like I wonder what was the capacity there. I'm sure they said it a couple times, but I forget off the top of my head. I watched it on my secondary TV off to the side while I was watching the Eagles game. So, um, Field of Dreams capacity. How many fit there? 8,000. Man, that's such a huge difference. I was going to guess 10 when I saw the stands, but 8,000. Yeah. It's got to be so weird going from 40 to that. Pretty crazy, but such a cool atmosphere. They did a great job, and it's the different little things. We talk about baseball and, oh, it's a dying sport. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. Well, they're starting to. They're starting to implement it and taking a step in the right direction and moving forward with that. That's just reality of the situation. They are taking strides the right way. All right, with that, we're going to end up shutting it down here. We're going to start closing the stream down. I want to thank everyone for another fantastic week here at Brodes Media. Just an update for 97.5 The Fanatic. We are on Saturday afternoon from 3 to 7 p.m. So I'm hosting Saturday, 3 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, 4 to 8 p.m. Saturday, 3 to 7 p.m. Sunday, 4 to 8 p.m. So I'm really looking forward to that. We'll talk some Birds. We'll talk some Phils. We'll talk some Sixers. We'll talk everything that's on the table for sure. So it'll be super fun. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you all so much for another fantastic week, and I will catch you guys Monday with Coffee with Brodes, but throughout the weekend with some podcasts. Thank you all so much, and enjoy your weekend.